Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shane's Squirrel Shack, where we talk about autism awareness and all of that. And as always, I want to thank all of you for tuning in to today's video. Guys, it has been a second. It's probably been a few weeks since I got to actually talk to you guys, besides my video the other day, and that was like a really last minute, on the spot kind of thing. As per most of my videos, I just kind of talk about how I feel and kind of what comes to mind first. But I know it's been a second, and I can explain! Guys, I can explain. I got a new apartment and a new job. Pretty much all at once. And that was about a month ago. And if you know a thing or two about autism, whether you haven't, know someone with it, or just know some stuff about it, you know that transition and routine change is a pain in the royal ass to us. Just like for most people, having transition is tiring. It's tiring. But for an autistic, trying to build a familiar world in, where we feel unfamiliar to it, and having that all pretty much stripped away for us to try and build this new one is a challenge in itself. And I wanted to walk through with you guys kind of what's been happening, kind of what I've experienced, and kind of how I've gone about changing my perspective and getting through this rut. So we have a little cup of agua first. Good stuff. I think we kind of need it to survive. Alright, so let's rewind a little bit. And something about autistics too is we have a fantastic memory for the most part, and I remember dates and months and all of that like crazy. I can tell you like when and where something happened from like 10 years ago. But in this case, and I don't want to get distracted on a tangent, I moved here about June 15th. So I got the keys, I moved in, and tried to get settled in and all that. Now, I have a couple of roommates. But the one has been a very, very great friend of mine for the last 15 years, and his girlfriend, and they are fantastic together. I'm so fortunate that we can share space together, which is something at least my friend and I have been wanting to do for a very long time. So that's a win. And so we're all getting settled in and all that, and I'm relearning what it's like to live with a new group of people. Now, in the past, back in college, I lived in a house with 8 dudes, and that was a wild, crazy ride. Me and my buddies back in the college days actually talked about this not too long ago, and we were like, man, how crazy were we back then? And considering how wild that place was, I was like, I really hope it's not going to be as intense here. And it's not. They do their thing, I do mine, which is really great. We don't get in the way of each other unless we're just hanging out. So that's good. That kind of helps me kind of ground me and bring me in, make me a little more familiar with this unfamiliar space. So I had that. And then I got a new job just like that, man. I left my old job and because they were trying to pull some stuff with me, and I'm more than happy to talk about that. So basically, what happened was I used to work, and I don't like to talk about where I work present time at the moment, but I used to work at Aldi. Aldi, cheap food, actually pretty good for you for the most part, and it's just a very fast-paced environment. Now, don't get me wrong, I am like the Energizer Bunny. I can just haul ass all day. But when they treat you subhuman and don't staff properly and don't look at you on a human level but like a machine, I got some issues with that, guys. And bringing up attention to management and all that, just like, hey, what's happening? This is happening. They didn't give a shit. Pardon my French. But you know how it is. So I wanted to put a transfer request in to the area that I was moving to, because I'm like 45 minutes away now from where I used to live. And they were like, oh yeah, we'll do the transfer request, all of that cool stuff. And then they were like, oh, actually, we're going to move the dates around from what you said to cater to what our staff can and can't, towards what we have staff-wise right now. I'm like, you don't get it. I'm not driving 45 minutes for a 1270 job. There's no way. You're not pulling that on me. So I hustled and tried to find a new job. Funny story, I got this job by crashing a wedding. That's a wild story. I'll tell you that one real quick. So, me and my buddies, we crashed this wedding from someone they knew. Well, it was like a reception party, whatever. It was at this bar. It was a bartender's wedding. So, we go there. I see an old classmate from high school I haven't seen in ages. I don't think we really talked much in high school. And we were just shooting the crap, shooting the shit, whatever. And we were just talking. And I was like, hey, what are you doing nowadays? Like, where you work? And she's like, oh, I just applied at so-and-so. I don't want to say where I work again. So I'm like, wait, I kind of try to apply there again. And that was a place I used to work at, like the company. And they're like, oh, you should, blah, blah, blah. And so I texted her a few weeks later, like, did you get the job? She's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, I haven't heard anything back, and I applied at several locations. She's like, apply here. I'm like, okay. She talked to the boss. Boss got me in. So I can tell everybody at the next Thanksgiving that I got a job by crashing a wedding. So there's that. So now fast forward a little bit when I actually start the job. I move into the house. I start the job pretty much right after. And huge pay raise, I'm making $2 more than I was at Aldi. So, yeah, whatever, man. What are you gonna do about it? Fight me. And it is again a very fast-paced place. And again, I love moving around like I'm the Energizer Bunny. It's great. Yeah, it can be stressful sometimes. And again, I've talked about in other videos how I had a meltdown at work and how that kind of affected me and how I try to change my approach and mindset to that. Now, I'm going to tell you this. And again, transition, whether it's a job, whether it's moving, whether it's, change of, family structure, whatever it is, just life structure, whatever you want to call it, that can be intense for anybody. And I'm not trying to say, oh, it's worse for me, oh, woe is me, I'm autistic, and so it's obviously worse for me, and you should feel some form of pity for me. No, please don't do that. No. But I will say this, it was a pain in the royal ass, because I am now in this unfamiliar world that once I became very familiar with, and I'll say this again, autistics like to, at least with me, my theory is, we are trying to build this world of familiarity in a world that is so unfamiliar to us. And so once you're just thrown in to a new environment, it's like, wow. But again, I have mentioned this in past videos. Life is therapy. Every day in the life can be therapy if you change your perspective and allow it to be. Life doesn't end. It's not a therapy session that, oh, you have 2 hours of ABA, applied behavioral analysis therapy, and then you can go home to mom, or you can go on with life. You can't walk out of this therapy session because it's life. But if you allow yourself to look at all of these changes as learning opportunities to grow your mind, to become stronger mentally, then you will accomplish so much, and you will change, and you will adapt so much better. And what I like to say that I learn best is being thrown into the wolves, knowing that I might fail sometimes. And I did in my previous video, I failed. I had a shutdown at work. You have that. But if you change your perspective and say, what can I do to get out of this? I know it's gonna be a lot easier, at least for me. If you put yourself in the perspective of, I'm going to grow from this, I'm gonna become stronger in the end, then it becomes a lot more possible, because I knew that when I would make this change in my life, the move, the new job, that it was going to tax the crap out of me. It was going to kill me. I got sick. I got exhausted. I became very anxious. And I just wasn't there. I was in a rut. Even a lot of my friends noticed that. They're like, yo, what's going on? Are you good? I'm like, I think I'm okay. But I'm saying in this video now that I've come out a lot stronger in the last month. I'm able to adjust a lot easier to things. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. These 2 decisions I made were some very, very good decisions. It's allowed me to focus more on myself, my personality, my quirks, and all of that, kind of focus on what I want to do with my future. And again, with the new job, I'm part-time, but I'm doing full-time hours for sure right now, because when you move, it is expensive. All of a sudden, I'm going to like Walmart, Menards, here and there, and I'm like spending money on cleaning supplies, furniture, shoe racks, this and that, whatever, you know. This table that I'm using right now, the furniture, like, oh my gosh, it adds up. Whether you're doing it on Facebook Marketplace, great place to find some really inexpensive stuff if you're in the right area and looking for the right things. And we got a free couch out of it. The guy was putting it on Marketplace for $100. He was like, we were picking it up. He's like, actually, it was rained on a little bit. It's free. Very, very comfortable couch. And again, I hope I'm not going on too many tangents. I hope that you can look at this as me having a conversation with you guys and kind of go from there. But I don't want to get to the point where I'm rambling too much, so I want to kind of finish up a couple points and then move on with whatever. And again, you have to throw yourself into the wolves, at least I do, to become stronger. You're going to fail. You're going to struggle. You might shed some tears. You might shed some sweat. You might want to yell. You might want to scream into a pillow. And allow yourself to do that. But when you're doing that, scream out the weakness inside of you. And if you're crying, if you're tearing up, tell yourself this is good. Tell yourself that this is going to make me stronger. Feel. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to recognize the situation you're in, how and why you're feeling the way you are, and what's the game plan to get out of this. And I'm not saying the game plan is going to work right away. You might have to make a couple up, but you become stronger and you become smarter and wiser in the process. What doesn't work? What works? What can I do next time? If you allow yourself to do that when you're in these ruts or these stressful or new situations, at least, again, for me, and I know everyone's different and everyone's experience is subjective, I became a whole lot stronger because of that. And I knew I would. And if you just change your perspective to this will end, this feeling will end, this situation will end, then a lot more things become possible. Then you're getting rid of that heavy weight, looking at everything as a burden instead of an opportunity. That's what I have to say for you guys today. I hope you got something out of this video. If you like what you heard, give it a like, comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and come out and hang out with us in the Squirrel Shack, and we'll be back. Thank you so much, everybody. Next time.